I attempted suicide when I was 18 years old. I overdosed and passed out. I lost my legs. I grew up in a very abusive household, and through that I developed BPD, borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality is terrifying. Symptoms of BPD include extreme fear of abandonment, impulsive self-destructive behaviors, self-harm, extreme emotional mood swings. I never know when I'm gonna go off the rails. I've also suffered from suicidal ideation. When I was 18, I moved out of my parents' house. I started abusing substances, alcohol and pot. The longer I was abusing substances, the worse it got. I became the most impulsive I've probably ever been. I was punching holes in the walls, driving fast, wanting to drive into trees. The 3rd of October, I went to church. After church, I went to my parents and had lunch, and then I went to work. Went home, smoked a joint. I was laughing, I was dancing, and then all of a sudden a depressing song, and it all flooded in at once. It was so painful. I remember sitting there clawing at my chest, sobbing. I just wanted it to stop. I self-harmed, wasn't good enough. And then I saw the medication that I had been given. I took the pills, 35 of them. I went in the bathroom and I started trying to puke them up, but I just couldn't. I passed out on my floor with my legs folded. Kneeled down on my bed for 30 hours. Nobody had heard from me. I'd missed work. My best friend raced to my house and found me. I called 911. The paramedics were like, "We gotta get you walking," and I couldn't get up. So because of my overdose, I went into kidney failure, and I had developed compartment syndrome in my legs. When you lay on a limb for too long and it starts to go to sleep, I just had the worst case of that. So bad to where the tissue in my legs were dead. There was no saving them. They would have to amputate my legs. After my amputations, I self-medicated doing drugs. I would just sit and cry for hours. I had done this to myself. I got out of the hospital in November. I didn't start therapy until May. And one thing my therapist really worked with me on was, it's not your fault that this happened to you. You took a desperate action, and these are the consequences of it. And once I really got that and truly started to believe it, it was a lot easier for me. The biggest thing that helped gain my stability was stopping substances. I do still struggle with suicidal ideation, but with the medication, my depression and my mania are nowhere near as bad as they used to be. Biggest warning sign, I think, is change in behavior. Impulsiveness, substance abuse. Sometimes people can seem they're okay, when in reality, they are holding on to that cliff for dear life. You feel like you will always feel like this. That's not true. That is the brain's biggest lie. You are strong enough to make it through. I am seen. Are you?